Hi, it's Tootie Tagerly coming to you at noon on a Tuesday on Valentine's Day from San Francisco on the West Coast. So, today, in honor of Valentine's Day, we're going to talk about polyamory as a professional value. And with this, not talking about intimate relationships, talking about professionals, not talking about sex workers, even though that is a polyamorous position, professional position, but more about the value of having a multiplicity of love and connection throughout personal and professional lives. And one way to do this is to look at these four different strategies. So the first is to seek connections on different levels from different people. It's really hard to expect one person in your professional life to have all the answers. You might expect your boss to tell you exactly what to do and how to go about your job and to get everything done. But the reality is, to meet all of your connection and information finding needs, it's important to have multiple people in your work life, whether it's your boss, your work buddy, your mentor, your gossip buddy, all of these in here. A lot of times when I talk to people about starting a new job in their first 90 days, one of the exercises we do is to create a connection map of all the people around them that they may have some chemistry with, have some connection with, and seek to foster and create more of these connections. And these are worth looking at both upwards in terms of leaders you may need to cultivate and develop closer relationships with, peers, very, very important. And then also people who you might consider from a power position, like perhaps lower, people who report to you or people in adjacent fields. Um, Another thing to think about is the depth of connections from these different people will be at different levels. Was talking to a dear coach friend who talked about every morning when he sets up for a day of work, he goes to Starbucks. Not for the coffee, not advocating or judging Starbucks coffee, but goes there for the daily connections with the baristas, with the people in the coffee shops. And that gets built over time as he gives them, as he mentioned, Christmas or Easter or particular little gifts throughout the year. And that's something that can happen with a security guard as you go into work, an HR person, an admin, people who you might see on a daily basis you don't necessarily work with, but who you can cultivate different types of connections with. And that really reminds me too of the loving kindness meditation, where you first look at, if we're back on polyamory, you first look at giving love and kindness to yourself, to a dear friend, to a difficult person, and then to the people all around you. Because really the essence of polyamory as a professional value is to promote and share more love in the world. Back to Valentine's Day. All right, the second thing to think about if we're looking at polyamory as a professional value is when you're looking at competition, when you're looking at people around you, when your coworker who you really love and respect, but man, she got that promotion and you didn't. How do you approach these situations with a philosophy of love? And part of it is abundance mentality, not scarcity. Yes, it may be challenging because there may be only one position that you're competing for and the other person got it. But I find that that's rarely the scenario. I would guess that most times we'll have feelings of jealousy and competition when we look around at someone else's LinkedIn profile and we look and see, wait, what happened? How did they get that position? How did they do it so fast? They got that within 5 years. It's going to take me 10 years or more to do that. Or in these times right now, why did these people keep their jobs while I got laid off? So if we start to look at this, yeah, the feelings are real. The feelings of hurt, the feelings of pain, the feelings of jealousy, the feelings of why not me? And if you approach it with abundance, love, gratitude, genuinely feeling good for them, because there is going to be some part which is feeling good, then there's something to be learned from that. Just like feeling just the joy and the gratitude for them and their success. I believe that can be a mindset shift. And it can be a way to look and say, hey, what could I learn from this? What could I do that's like them? Can I talk to them about it and figure out what their path is? Okay, the next thing when we've been talking about connections, making a lot of different connections in a professional setting, when you're doing that to build trust, I think it's really important to go into each one-on-one with a sense of clarity and intentionality about what is it that you want from this particular one-on-one meeting? What is it that you want from this particular relationship? And this is really important because as we get into the busyness and the 30-minute slots of meetings, we can jump into the doing. We can jump into that, hey, we need to solve this problem right now, and your team is blocking my team. But instead, if you pause for just a couple of minutes and think about, well, you know what? We are going to be working together for months and not years. What is my intention for this one-on-one meeting? It's to continue to build this long-term collaborative relationship and partnership. Simply spending a couple of minutes thinking about that before you go into each one-on-one, especially one-on-ones with people who you might find a little bit more difficult, helps you promote more love, more trust, more relationship building with that level of clarity and intentionality. And a rule of thumb is that, hey, maybe just before diving into the nitty gritty, how about a couple minutes, 2 minutes? You can spare 2 minutes, maybe even five in a 30-minute meeting to check in on how they're doing. Check in on and say happy Valentine's Day. Check in and see if they've got, you know, check in and be like, what do you think of this holiday? Is this a Hallmark, gross, terrible holiday for you, or is it something else? You can do it. Only a couple minutes. And then finally, part of having and cultivating all these multiple relationships is using them to really develop a sense of what are your needs in this particular relationship? What are your needs if you're collaborating with the sales team or the engineering director or the head of HR? What are your needs from the role and the place that you are sitting at? And then, advanced level, empathize with them, ask them and understand what their needs are. Having this level of open, direct conversation and periodically rechecking because people can change their minds, things change, things move fast all the time. That promotes more openness, more connection, more love. So, today, Valentine's Day, talking about polyamory as a professional value and looking to create more connections and doing that by seeking connections on different levels from different people because they all feed our sense of belonging and connection. Looking at instances that might be not so pleasant, competition, jealousy, looking at that with from a sense of abundance, not scarcity. Applying clarity and intentionality to each connection. And then finally, having open, direct conversations to share your needs, knowing what those are first, and then to ask the other people what their needs are. That's it for today. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll be back next Tuesday.